My fiancée said her sister comes first, even after boundary violations, so I called off the wedding. We just got engaged and started picking our wedding party. My fiancée said she wanted her younger sister as maid of honor. Before this, her sister lived with us for a semester because her dorm had issues. I had only met her a few times before. She seemed nice back then. That changed fast after she moved in. She'd say, "You'd look good in that," or "I wish I could find someone like you." It felt off. Then she accidentally walked in on me in the shower. She spilled juice on my shirt and laughed when I had to change. She kept making comments about my body. She started saying she should be in my fiancé's shoes. I told her to cut it out. She shrugged and said she was joking. I told my fiancée I was uncomfortable. She waved it off and said her sister is just like that. I brought it up again and again. Nothing changed. I started avoiding the kitchen. I tried to be careful. I locked the bathroom. I kept a towel in the bedroom. I wore headphones just to stay in my lane. She kept pushing, and my fiancé kept saying I was overreacting. It was a relief when the dorms opened and her sister finally moved out. When we started planning the wedding, my fiancé said, "She's my maid of honor." My stomach sank. I told her I wasn't comfortable. I said her sister might try to stir things up. I asked if she could give her another role. Usher, reader, anything else. I said the choice was hers, but that was my line. She said, "I've told you, this is how she is. I want her as my maid of honor." I asked, "What if you were uncomfortable around my brother, the best man? Would you want him out?" She said, "Yeah." Then she added, "That's your brother. It actually makes sense." That stung because my brother is married with kids and a decent guy. He's never made her uncomfortable. She's met him many times. No issues. I asked, "What is that supposed to mean?" She said, "I just don't like him." No reason, just that. It felt like a wall I couldn't get through. I told her it was a double standard. Her sister could stay after months of crossing my boundaries. My brother could be out because she didn't like his vibe. I said I want our wedding to be calm and safe. I don't want to spend that day waiting for something to go wrong. She said, "Having my sister as maid of honor makes me happy." I said, "My happiness matters too." She crossed her arms. Silence. Stretched. I said if she wouldn't consider my comfort, I was leaving for now. I grabbed my keys. She called me a jerk as I walked out. The door clicked behind me. That night I barely slept. The next day I called and asked to meet somewhere neutral. She agreed. We met at a small cafe near her place. My hands were tight on the coffee cup. I told her I had posted about this and read the responses. She grew still. I said the comments made me think. I told her this wasn't just about the wedding. I said she had put her sister before me many times. I listed the shower, accident, the spills, the body comments. I said I told her each time. She had brushed it off each time. I said I need a partner who protects us, not a third wheel in our home. She said her feelings mattered more here because it was her family. She said, "I'm the woman. My emotions should be catered to." The words landed heavy. I asked why my feelings didn't count the same. I asked why she could judge my brother, but I couldn't be safe from her sister. She didn't have an answer. I said we could fix it with real changes. I asked for a clear boundary with her sister and a real apology for the months I felt unsafe in my own home. I asked her to pick a different role for her sister and to back me up if lines were crossed again. She looked past me, not at me. She said she wouldn't change her maid of honor. She said she wasn't apologizing because she didn't think anything was that serious. She told me I was making a scene. The table felt smaller. My chest felt tight. I knew what that meant for us. I said this was the tipping point for me. I said I couldn't marry someone who wouldn't believe me when I said I wasn't safe. I said I couldn't promise vows while being the only one guarding our boundary. My voice shook, but I kept going. I asked for the ring back. She stared at it for a long beat, then slid it into my palm. No emotion, no words. The ring felt cold. My chair scraped the floor as I stood. I nodded once. She didn't move. The barista clinked cups behind us. A door opened and closed somewhere in the back. I walked out into the daylight and the air felt thin. My phone stayed silent. I tucked the ring into my pocket, stepped off the curb and kept walking. The engagement was over. Now my ex and her sister are painting me as petty for ending it. Was I wrong?